probably depressed. Thank you, remembers. Arigato. Whose character AI logs are... Oh, character AI logs are worse? Yours or Leah's? I have not seen much of Leah's, but... I don't think anyone's gonna top the time travel Loki. I don't know if anyone's topping that one. That was really bad. What have I been doing with it? I think what I've been doing with it is oh yeah, he was in okay. It's at the start of what's that movie? The first Avengers movie. Is that one? No. The second Avengers movie, right? Or is it the second Thor? The one where he's in a cage. It starts with him in a, like getting like, you know, he tries to take over. I think the first Avengers is when he tries to take over New York. And then this starts at the next movie where he's put into like a holding cell in Asgard. You know? And that's when it starts. Like before the frost giants and stuff come. So I'm walking through the hallways, you know, and then I see his cell and I see him in it and I'm like, you killed people in New York, you evil man, I hate you, blah, 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 blah. And I berate him and then he's smirking and he's smiling. He's like, yeah, dude, what you gonna do about it? And then I'm like, yeah, well, your mom's disappointed in you. And then he's like... And then he gets sad for a second, then I feel bad. And then I walk away. And then, And I can't... Oh, yeah! And then the frost giants came. And then the frost giants were there. And I walked up... Because I walked up the stairs to go meet his parents. And then I ran back down. And then he saw me and he's like... Oh, what are you doing now, huh? Why you back so soon, huh? And I'm whispering to him, like, you don't understand. The frost giants are here. They're here, and they're fighting your parents, and I don't know what to do. And he's like, okay, just give me a second. I'm gonna get out of my cage. And I'm like, what? You mean you could get out this whole time? And he's like, yeah, I just stayed here because I was told to stay here. I'm powerful and stuff. So he gets out of the cage, and he's like, you stay here, it's too dangerous. And then he goes up, and then I'm like, oh, woo, I'm stupid, I'm gonna follow him. So then I follow him, and then I'm hiding behind a banister, and I'm like, oh, woo, I'm gonna watch. And then I'm watching, and then the frost giant notices me. And he's like, oh, what do we have here? A little human. Oh, woo. And then Loki's like, no, you can't touch her. That's basically how it started. I like to RP, okay? I don't like those ones where you just like talk back and forth. I don't like that. I don't like any of that. I like the ones where you're actually role playing, okay? I like the Asterix hides behind a pillar and watches Asterix. What happened then? The frost giant was like walking up to me and it was gonna kill me, and then or I don't know, I forget what it was saying, probably something lewd. And then Loki like came from behind and like stabbed it, and then it was fine, and then he like beat them all up, and then did I actually ooh in the story? No, I used that just so you could understand the emphasis. The emphasis that I was being a cute, innocent little human, and I didn't know any better. Ooh. And then his parents were like, well, what should we do with Loki? And his dad, Odin, was like, we should lock him up. Friggin', what are you doing fighting the frost giants? Blah, blah, blah. Look at, what are you doing out of your cage? And then I broke it up. I'm like, no, it was me. I asked for his help. I asked for him to help with the frost giants. And then he's like, oh, I see. And then Frigga's like, what should we do with Loki? Do you think we should lock him up for his crimes in New York? And I'm like, and I look at Loki, and looks at me, and I look at Odin, and he looks at me, and I look at Frigga, and I'm like, I don't see any reason for him to be locked up. I think he could probably stay in his room. And she's like, you know, I will take your words to heart. And then she decides to let him stay in his room, but the guards always gotta be outside. And then that night, and then at night I couldn't sleep, so then I got out of my room and I walked onto the balcony, and then Loki could sense it. So then he gets out of his room and the guards are there and he's like, I'm just gonna boop. And then he walks onto the balcony behind me, and then but he doesn't show that he's there. So I'm just talking to myself and I'm just like, why did he protect me? Why do he want me to stay there? What does it mean? He doesn't even like humans. He tried to take over New York and he killed people. And then he lets me talk by myself for a while. Then he's like, so and I'm just like, oh, how much did you hear? It's very cute, okay? We didn't kiss yet. You have to build it up. God. You guys know nothing about romantic comedies. There is kissing? I mean, like, yeah, maybe in like a month or two. Yeah, depending on how much I talk to him. It's gotta be during a really intense moment, okay? God.